So the question you have to ask yourself is it most important for you to get a certificate or diploma in a particular area, or is it most important to get the knowledge? The question may be on your part, do you have to choose one or the other? Though there may be some exceptions, yes, usually you do have to choose. For example, imagine if you could apprentice with a great shaman or a great teacher who teaches bodywork in a weekend retreat or a summer intensive, but there was no college credit available for that particular program. Or you got to teach in a college or study in a college with somebody who was working with this technique, but who is not particularly that advanced. So there is a dilemma here between being what I call mainstream in your healing education or independently minded. So one of the questions you have to ask yourself, are you someone who is more inclined to do a mainstream educational process with certificates, diplomas, or licensure? Or are you somebody who is more committed to getting a mastery of a subject even though you may not be able to get official certification? It might seem unusual for me to make this point, since you may wonder, can't you do both? And the answer is yes, you can do both. But keep in mind that very, very few people become medical doctors with the idea of becoming holistic doctors. The process is rigorous. It's very weak in terms of its support system. There's a lot of ridicule within the mainstream educational process, and it's very, very new. So though there are certainly colleges that offer programs and classes in natural healing, they're few and far apart. And there are many, many master teachers in a lot of areas of study who are not officially recognized by accrediting institutions. So this is a key element for you in your process. Let me give you an example of how certain fringe techniques or independent techniques have become mainstreamed. Acupuncture, for instance, now has a national certification board, professional organizations, licensure, departments in hospitals that include it in pain control, and yet just 10 to 15 years ago, people who practice acupuncture were pretty much outlaws. So any technique that you look at may eventually become mainstream, though it's independent at this time. But the truth is that almost 80% of the American population has explored or experimented with some form of alternative health care. And this is the key to keep in mind as you decide what it is that is your passion and what it is that you want to study. Very often people will call me up at my school and they will ask if we're certified. And it's an interesting question because usually the questioner actually doesn't know what the word certified or certification means. It really means they're looking for some kind of official recognition. So to help you in making your choices in terms of where you want to begin your professional career, either in education or in techniques, it's key to know the distinction between certification, accreditation, a diploma, and a license. Certification can be done by any school. For instance, I can make up a particular program in natural food Italian cooking or in foot acupressure, and give a person a certificate that they can hang on their wall that says they've completed a certain number of hours of training in a particular area. That doesn't mean they're recognized by the state or by the government, or that there is even a law that addresses that particular body of knowledge. So the fact that someone can get certified by a school really has no meaning, other than the fact they've put the time in, and if the school is very famous or is recognized for its work, the person certainly gets respect because of where they've gotten certified. Accreditation. Accreditation is a very, very interesting concept because what really happens with accreditation has as much to do with getting student loans as anything else. The federal government has certain standards, and there are accrediting bodies that are formed of various schools. And by accrediting a school, especially if the accrediting body is recognized by the federal government, it enables that school's students to get loans for school. Many schools and many professions have become extremely bureaucratic and have actually changed the standards from where they began simply so that they can get accredited recognition and thereby get more students and higher fees as a means of increasing their educational income. Now, I'm not knocking that, but I want you to understand that that's what accreditation means. It's very different than certification. Now, accreditation itself does not have anything to do specifically with a license or a diploma. Diplomas are given by colleges. And there are many, many trade schools that can give you accreditation and even be available for you to get loans, but they are not diploma oriented. Many trade schools have become diploma oriented in recent years. For instance, in New York, a number of massage schools that started out as independent schools then became accredited so that they can get student loans for their students, and now have actually become colleges of massage giving associate degrees. That has more to do with politics and economics than it has to do with the content of what you're actually learning. And again, I'm not attacking them. I actually have a massage license myself, and I have an undergraduate degree in philosophy. But I do want you to know that the process of accreditation, certification, diploma, and licensure has no direct relevance to the quality of the education involved in natural healing, especially since so many of the techniques that are used in natural healing are so fringe in some way, unconventional, that they really cannot even be put into an educational structure that would involve diplomas, accreditation, or licensure.